Thanks, Isaac. 8:36, kids across the upstate settled back into their classrooms, but this week back to school, we know, can be a bit emotional.
Yeah, especially sometimes more so for the parents, especially if it's the first year being away from your little one. This morning, we're going to be helping families out, trying to work their way through this new routine, and we have Alexa Rodriguez standing by with the expert. Alexa?
Hey, good morning, Ted and Nicole. With anything, it is a big change. Heading back to school, parents saying goodbye to their kids, and sometimes for the first time. You saw that interview with Margaret. She got pretty emotional just saying goodbye to her little one, primarily because he was like, Mom, don't leave me just yet. So we have Brittany Clow here, a mental health counselor, to tell us more about how parents can work through that anxiety, that big change that's coming. So what advice do you have?
Yeah. Well, really what I think is helpful is looking at your own worst case scenarios. I think a lot of times we get locked into, it's going to be bad, and it's definitely going to be bad. And so, of course, we feel like we can't cope when it's that bad. Really, we have a lot of other options, and you find that you are wrong a lot of times, right? When you have your worst case scenario, well, that didn't happen. It's important for adults, too, to go through all the different options that might happen. Maybe it'll be bad, maybe it'll be great. Maybe you'll need to get support. Maybe you can find a friend or a cousin or someone to help their kids talk it through. But then all of a sudden, your worst case scenario being 95% going to happen that way ends up being about 10% possible, right? And so you work through it yourself so that you can present that to your child. I think it's important to sort of emotionally lead for them, right? So if you are, it's going to be, I don't know how it's going to go, honey, they're going to feel that. Right. And so if you can come up and say, you know what, we'll work through it no matter what happens and it's going to be great, they tend to start to follow that same feeling.
And if you're putting on, I don't want to say a front, but if you're leading with your emotions, how do you get that downtime? What do you advise parents to do maybe at bedtime when those thoughts are coming and they can really hone in on what they're feeling?
I think pay attention to what you're thinking. If you think, well, this is not going to work out, or we're going to have to, move schools, or, those sorts of thoughts, it's important to slow down your thinking and recognize, okay, there are other options here. What can I access for supports? Who can I call? Is there a guidance counselor? Can I talk to the teacher? Can I maybe access some counseling if necessary? And get your thinking right and get your feeling right, and then you can present that to your child.
And very quickly, when we're optimizing our time, let's say parents get off at 5 o'clock, bedtime is 7:30, what would you advise them to do during that smaller amount of time?
I think trying to really front load some attention time, so doing some one-on-one, maybe it's going for a walk, playing a game, non-screen time, right? Spending some really good quality time face-to-face with your child right away will help to kind of give them that attention right away, and then they can kind of go about and do dinner and all the normal things that you do, but it's so important. We forget that we don't sometimes have that really good quality time.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Brittany. We appreciate your advice, and hopefully that's going to help out some of our parents at home. Nicole, Ted?
It really is just one of those things that, you don't know how you're going to respond about it until it's happening. So great to hear from experts on, just some coping mechanisms.
Yeah, and just to kind of go through all the possibilities, not just one. Alexa, thanks so much.